The following is a presentation of Big Polly's World of Sports Sims. I'm Big Polly, and I approve this message. Big Polly's World of Sports Sims presents the Hometown Football League using Action PC Football 2020. You are looking live at my Action PC 2020 football screen, and today we virtually go to Minneapolis, Minnesota for a game between Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota a 3-point favorite, each team 2-1 to start the year. Calm inside of US Bank Stadium, it's relatively brand new dome facility the Minnesota Vikings have. I will be playing as Minnesota. They won the toss and will receive. Actually, Cincinnati won the toss and deferred, I think. I'll check the replay on that. Anyway, Fran Tarkenton's going to be your quarterback for Minnesota. Kenny Anderson for Cincinnati. Sam Wyche will lead the Bengals in the battle, but Grant will do likewise for the Vikings. Percy Harvin back deep for Minnesota, and we will get this game rocking and rolling. They're in the purple squares, Cincinnati in the road whites. I guess you could call it like a bluish, not bluish, but black numbering and lettering they have. And this is going to be taken by Harvin, and Harvin's going to return it very nicely to the 46, a return of 36 yards. So now we will set up the Minnesota offense and the Cincinnati defense for you and do the reverse when Cincinnati has the ball. Peterson and Brown are your running backs. Carter and Moss, very talented wide receiver duo. Steve Jordan at tight end. Fran Tarkenton out of Georgia, your quarterback. Zimmerman, McDaniel, Tingelhoff, White, and Yeri will be your offensive linemen from tackle to tackle. For Cincinnati, Smith and Dunlap at defensive end, Atkins and Reed at defensive tackle, Spikes, LeClaire, Burfict, your three linebackers from one outside to the other. Parrish and Riley at corner, Casanova and Nelson will be your safeties. Adrian Peterson on 1st and 10 will go off tackle right. And on the first play, he picks up 12. Peterson ran for 130 yards last week against Detroit in a losing effort, 24-21. He's out of Oklahoma. 1st and 10, ball at the 42. We'll go Randy Moss on a long hitch. That's caught for 6. Bada boom, bada bing. Two plays and a quick score for the Vikings. Here's your point after try. It's good by Walsh, and it's 7-0 Vikings, and we have just played 1:07 of this game. 13:53 left in the first quarter. Yeast back deep for the Bengals, and that's going to be a touchback. So let's set up the offense for Cincinnati and the defense for Minnesota. Dillon and Johnson are your running backs. Hujmanzada and Green are going to be at wideout. Ross at tight end. Munoz, Steinbach, Johnson, Montoya, Anderson, your offensive line. Anderson out of Augustana will be your quarterback. Very talented Minnesota defense has Eller and Dolman at defensive end. Page and Randall at defensive tackle. Blair, Sinian, McDaniel, your linebackers. Bryant and Rhodes, your corners. Browner and Krause at safeties. 1st and 10 at the 20. Let's see what Kenny Anderson can do. And that's a run with Dillon for 9 yards. And it's now going to be 2nd and 1, ball to 29. They give it to Johnson again, to Dillon again. Why did I say Johnson? Gains a yard, but he's just short of the first. Carl Eller came up to make the hit. And now you got 3rd and inches. To Dillon, and this time he does get the first down, a pickup of a yard. And Blair made the tackle for the Vikings here. Ball to 31 for this 1st and 10 attempt. And this time he stuffed at the line, Dillon is. Randall came up and made the tackle for a loss of a yard. 2nd 11, ball to 30. Looked like Minnesota was keying for the run there. Long throw and a catch.
Offsides, defense.
Which is going to stand.
Number 93, 5-yard
because
penalty.
the Vikings were offsides. Gain of 28. That was to A.J. Green, and Rhodes brought him down. So now the ball at the Minnesota side of the field, 1st and 10 at the Viking 42. Here's Anderson, and he's got another big throw and a big catch to Ross. A pickup of 23 to the 20. Actually, the ball will be spotted at the 19, they're going to call it. 1st and 10 from there. They go to Johnson this time, and he loses a yard. Pete Johnson out of Ohio State. Played under Woody Hayes there, and it will be 2nd and 11. Underneath to Johnson, a fumble recovered by Cincinnati. Total gain of 11 yards. And Bob Trumpy's going to come into the game as the second tight end. It'll be 3rd and inches at the 9. Bob Costas always used to call Bob Trumpy Trump when he did commentary with him on NBC. On the running play, that's just short of the first, as Dillon took it and got back to the line, and that was it. 4th and inches at the 9. Here's a 26-yard field goal try by Graham, and it's good. So each team scoring on their first drive, 7-3. Minnesota holding a 4-point lead right now with 7:49 left in the opening quarter. Percy Harvin out of Florida, back deep. It goes to him. It's returnable. And this time he only returns it 15 yards to the 18. We'll go to Bill Brown on a dive play for this 1st and 10. Just kind of play it safe here. A gain of a yard. And it's now 2nd and 9. Off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. Just back to the line, and that's all. And it's now going to be 3rd and 9. They'll bring 3 tight ends in, bring Percy Harvin in for a medium hitch play, and we'll go to him. That's caught by Harvin, and he's got a 1st down. Casanova didn't try to romance Harvin, he just made the tackle. And that moves it out to the 32 for a 1st and 10. We'll go trap right, Adrian Peterson. And that's a quick pickup of 6. Casanova again on the tackle. 2nd and 4. Randy Moss on the medium slant. Instead, it's a dump off to Peterson, a gain of 10. Vontez Burfict made the play. Smith had a few plays for Cincinnati. See if we can pick up who has entered the game. It's Parrish, Riley, Casanova, and Nelson now. I believe there was a defensive back that went down. Oh, anyway, 1st and 10, ball at the 48. We'll go back to Brown. Sweep to the right. And that's going to be a loss. As the that was yesterday, Seattle and St. Louis. The Cincinnati defense penetrates the blocking of the Vikings, and it'll be 2nd and 14. We'll go Peterson pitch right. Ball to 44. And Peterson, taking advantage of the dime defense Cincinnati was playing, he gains 8 yards, and it will be 3rd and 6. How about a play to Steve Jordan, medium hitch on 3rd and 6. Caught, a gain of 12. You see there, Fran Tarkenton had a pretty good game against Detroit. All for naught, 20 out of 29 for 278. Back to this game, 1st and 10 at the 36 now for the Vikings. They will go Moss, long slant. Incomplete, deflected by Parrish. And it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 36 still. We're going to pitch left with Peterson. And that's back to the line, and that's all. And Zimmerman has been hurt. He will remain in the game for now, but it appears that he tweaked his elbow. 3rd and 10 at the 36 to Chris Carter, medium slant. Actually, I want to run a heavy blitz. Let's go deep with Chris Carter. Good protection, but an incomplete pass. Riley deflected it, could not make the pick. So a 52-yard field goal try for Blair Walsh, if they want to do it, with 44% odds. I would rather not. I'm going to do a pooch punt with Bob Lee. Try to pin Cincinnati. But instead the ball goes for a touchback, so that was rather bad advice on my part. Minute 34 left in the first quarter. It's still 7-3, Vikings leading. Ken Anderson comes back on the field. It was Howard Cosell that always used to put an NY or a Y or an IE on people's name, and he always would call Ken Anderson Kenny Anderson. Actually, his name is Ken Anderson, so my apologies. 1st and 10, ball at the 20. Incomplete. Check down to Johnson, as I think Anderson was trying to throw it to one of his wideouts, or the tight end Ross, and that falls incomplete. 2nd and 10, same spot, ball at the 20. That's a throw and a catch to Ross. He gains 18. Don't think he's related to the Ross department store that's on the Vegas Strip and probably several other places. 1st and 10, ball at the 38. And short by a few inches was, let's see, Anderson threw it to Hujmanzada and Bryant brought him down, and that's going to end the first quarter. Minnesota 7, Cincinnati 3 to start the second quarter of play. No other videos tonight as I put this up on July 15th, 2020. This will be it. This and only this video. Kenny Anderson looking at 2nd and inches at his own 48. He runs and he gains 6 yards. Paul Krause on the tackle for the Vikings. Both these teams came in the league in the same decade, the 60s. Minnesota coming in the early 60s and Cincinnati in the late 60s. They were the last team to join the AFL, and I believe it was 68. 1st and 10, ball to 46. To Dillon. Dillon's got a first down and more, 15 yards. Paul Krause on the tackle. 1st and 10, ball to 31. Gain of 1 for Dillon. Simeon makes the stop. They were running a dive play there. Minnesota in a 4-3. 2nd and 9 at the 30. They give to Dillon again. Dillon has some running room. He picks up 9 and he gets the first down after a measurement. Munoz with some blocking for Cincinnati, the Hall of Fame blocker. Blair spun him down. 1st and 10, ball to 21. To Johnson. Johnson picks up 4. And Anderson, the lineman, was hurt. And Chris Collinsworth enters the game as a 3rd wideout. Not to be confused with Ken Anderson, the quarterback. 2nd and 6 at the 17. Actually, no, it was Anderson that was hurt on the last play. Kenny Anderson. And no, he's back. Anderson's also the name of a tackle, Willie Anderson. You see him there. My mistake. Gain of 9 on that last running play. Trap right with Dillon. Randall brought him down. 1st and goal now at the 8. Dillon with more plus yards on that run. A gain of 4. Blair on the stop again. Dillon at 10 carries for 48 yards, and the Bengals pounding the rock here. 2nd and goal from the 4. To Johnson, and Johnson's in. Touchdown. Pete Johnson gives Cincinnati the lead. It's just a question of by how many points. It'll either be 2 or 3. And the extra point, no good, blocked by Bryant. So the score will remain 9-7, Bengals. Harvin back deep for the Vikings. We have 10:30 left in the half. And this is going to be another nice return for Percy Harvin. 32 yards to the 35. They shift the tight end over to the left side. Peterson's going to run a sweep left. Looked like the Bengals may have had 8 men in the box. They pick up 5 yards, they being Minnesota. LeClaire on the tackle. Put a man in motion for this running play, but this time they're going to go to Brown. It's just going to be a generic inside run. Gain of 2. Dunlap makes the stop. 3rd and 3. They'll go to 3 wideouts, and they'll go to Chris Carter on a short out. But with Cincinnati showing blitz, we're going to use a screen to Peterson. Peterson's going to have the first down. Gains 18 yards. Ken Riley out of Florida A&M, making the tackle. And now the Vikings in business at the Cincinnati 40. A 1st and 10 play. Off tackle left, Kenny Anderson. And it's a gain of 5. They have one of the safeties, Reggie Nelson, bunched up with Tommy Casanova, where the tight end is. So they're playing a man defense here, I would think. And you see the Vikings are going to move Steve Jordan over to the right side. So Casanova moves over and is mirroring him. We'll go back to Brown on a trap right on 2nd and 5. And not much there for Brown. He gains 2 yards. They'll go double tight end, bring in Rudolph as the second tight end on 3rd and 3. And they're going to keep it on the ground and go to Adrian Peterson. Blocking is key. Let's see what happens.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 80. 5-yard penalty.
And Carter gets flagged for illegal motion. Bring in 3 wide. On 3rd and 8, we'll go to Moss. Medium hitch. There's the throw, and it's going to be close. He got it. He being Steve Jordan, number 83 to tight end. And it's now 1st and 10 at the 30. As I cough off mic, Peterson off tackle right. Another nice gain for Adrian Peterson. He gains 8 yards. He's had 8 carries today for 44. I think this would be a good time to go play action to Steve Jordan on 2nd and 2. That's caught for a touchdown for Jordan. Caught me by surprise. I mangle my words. 13-9. Here's the point after try by Walsh. And it's 14-9.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty.
Atkins called for offsides. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So they will be kicking from the 40 instead of the 35. You have 5 minutes exactly left in the half. It's 14-9, Minnesota. Yeast back deep. Let's see if he can get a paw on this. But he can't. Touchback. 151 yards of offense so far for Cincinnati, 170 for Minnesota. Quick glance stats here, 20 plays for Cincinnati, 21 for Minnesota, so it's been pretty even. 1st and 10, ball to 20. Anderson's going to run again, and he gets 8 yards. Simeon makes the stop. Going to be 2nd and 2 now, 28-yard line. A throw and an incompletion. Anderson was looking for Pete Johnson. 3rd and 2 at the 28. A screen to Dillon, and that's good for a first, and he's got running room. 17 yards worth of it before Paul Krause could bring him down. 1st and 10, ball to 45. To Dillon once again, and this time running the ball, he's got 11 yards. He's at 59 on the day, and he has that one catch for 17 that you just saw on the prior play. Krause again on the tackle for the Vikes. They're on the Minnesota side of the field, 1st and 10 at the 44. Dillon on a draw, but this time Minnesota sees it coming. Bryant makes the stop, a loss of 2. 2nd and 12, ball to 46. Anderson going to throw, incomplete, looking for Ross, and Browner influenced the play by knocking it down. So now 3rd and 12. It's looking like they have 4 wides out for the game. No, they have put Dillon in one of the wideout slots, 3rd and 12. A throw, not completed, looking for Hujmanzada, and the Vikings will get the ball back, barring any calamity here on the punt. We will watch for a fake punt just based on field position. And they punt for the corner, and it's going to be McAnally, the guy who once famously said 1 knee equals 2 feet. Well, John Madden said that, and since a game between the Bengals and the Jets, a preseason game, he came up with that line. 1 knee equals 2 feet. He was working that game for CBS, which is kind of odd because back then CBS had NFC games and they did a game between two AFC teams. And he came up with that phrase, 1 knee equals 2 feet. And he thought McAnally, being the smart guy McAnally went to a Ivy League school, who I will think of as soon as I look him up here. Harvard, and he was the one who was attributed with coming up with the theory of 1 knee equaling 2 feet. But John Madden said it first. Adrian Peterson on 1st and 10 at the 13. We have 2:14 left in the half, and that'll get us to the 2-minute warning. As Casanova brought him down, 12-yard pickup. He's at 56 yards on the day. We're at the 2-minute mark, 14-9 Vikings. Medium fly play to Steve Jordan on first and 10 from the 25. Each team with 3 timeouts left and their challenge. That's a throw incomplete. Looking for Jordan, but Tarkenton could not find Jordan. And he probably wasn't saying that was incredible. Some of you older football fans will get that hint because after Fran Tarkenton left professional football and was a commentator on Monday Night Football, he got an actual side gig hosting a show with John Davidson and Kathy Lee Crosby with that very same name. That's incredible. Medium out to Carter on 2nd and 10 at the 25. There's your throw, and there's an incompletion. And Tarkenton changed the play and went long to Harvin, but it fell incomplete. They'll look for Moss on a slant on 3rd and 10. That's incomplete. Cincinnati in the nickel. They sent a blitzer there. Not Wolf, but a blitzer. And it'll be 4th and 10. Bob Lee back to punt. Not Bob Lee of ESPN, but Bob Lee, who was the perennial backup to Fran Tarkenton back in the 70s and could also punt. And it's 1st and 10 at the 35. Cincinnati has the ball. They have 1:36 left, and they have all 3 timeouts left. Anderson screens it out to Dillon to the right side. He picks up 6 yards. 2nd and 4 at the 41. Marker down.
False start. Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty.
It's Munoz who gets called for a false start. And now it's 2nd and 9 at the 36. 1:24 remaining. Nobody's used the timeout yet. That is caught by Johnson. He gains 3 and he steps out of bounds. Now 3rd and 6. Plenty of time for Minnesota if they get the ball back. Incomplete. Looking for Dillon, but instead you went to A.J. Green, who was double covered. So Cincinnati punts it back to Minnesota here. Ball should land inside the 15. Minnesota will try to return it. And it's a nice return of 16 yards by West. And now Minnesota has a $1.06 left on the clock. We'll go Jordan medium hitch on 1st and 10. Not there, incomplete. Tarkenton and Jordan not on the same page, according to Action PC 2020. Tarkenton 7 out of 13. He has 2 touchdowns on the day for 125 yards. How about a medium slant to Moss on 2nd and 10? And it's caught, but short of the first, 8 yards. And Minnesota, with all those timeouts, is going to bang one here on 3rd and 2. We'll go Peterson off tackle left on 3rd and 2. Marker down. We'll hold everything.
Holding.
Oh, it's going to come back.
Number 83, 10-yard penalty.
And that 3rd and 2 now turns into a 3rd and 12. Would have had the first down. They got to put 4 wides in the game, bring Anthony Carter in, and go to him on a medium fly. So the other Carter could not catch that one. Anthony Carter was a standout at the University of Michigan. Chris Carter for Ohio State. Now 4th and 12. We have 41 seconds left. Bob Lee coming in to punt. And Cincinnati will have a little bit of time. And 3 timeouts left. Vikings now with 2. 1st and 10. Ball at the 32. 35 seconds remaining. Anderson's going to run. And he's not a bad scrambler. He picks up 12 there. Minnesota's not going to use a timeout. I'm sure Cincinnati will use one of theirs, and they do with 23 seconds left. 1st and 10 at the 44. They throw underneath to Hujmanzada. And Cincinnati will probably use their next timeout. They do indeed. 17 seconds left. 2nd and 9 at the 45. Completed to Ross. Ross is going to get the first down. There's going to be 9 seconds left. And Cincinnati uses their last timeout. This is going to be a rare occasion where I call a defensive play 3-1 deep zone prevent on 1st and 10 at the 46 of Minnesota. Instead, it's a pitch to Dillon. Can Dillon get out of bounds in time? He cannot. He gains 13 yards, but the half is going to end, and it's going to be 14-9 Minnesota at the break. We start the second half of play. It's 14-9 Minnesota. 190 yards for Minnesota total of offense. 229 for Cincinnati. Both teams pretty much even at this point. 34 plays run by Cincinnati, 28 by Minnesota. Peterson, the standout probably for Minnesota. 9 catches, 56 yards. Not 9 catches, 9 carries for 56. 2 catches for 28. Dillon having a good game likewise. For Cincinnati, he has 13 rushes for 70 and 2 catches for 23. Pretty even, although Cincinnati is doing a little better rushing as a team. 19 rushes, 103. And they get the ball to start the second half, trailing by 5. Yeast back deep. And that's a touchback. Every game Cincinnati has played in so far has been entertaining. I will grant you that. And, of course, last week they pulled an upset in meeting Cleveland, their upstate rivals. And they have a 1st and 10 in this game, game number 4, at their own 20 to start the second half. Anderson's going to run again, and he's been doing that very well in this game. 13 yards. Johnson, one of the linemen, will be out and will be returning. So right now the line for Cincinnati is Munoz, Steinbach, Bush, Montana, Anderson. 1st and 10 now at the 33. They give it to Dillon. Dillon's got running room. That's going to be close to the first down. And Anderson, Willie Anderson, hurt again, and he will be replaced by Whitworth. 1st and 10, ball to 43. To Dillon again, and it really doesn't matter who's blocking for Dillon. Dillon's getting the results. He has a season high of 87 yards now with that 7-yard run. And it was Joni Browner, who came up and made the tackle. Ball exactly at midfield for a 2nd and 3. We have a marker down.
Encroachment defense. Number 81, 5-yard penalty.
Carl Eller called for encroachment. That moves the ball in the Minnesota territory and also gives Cincinnati a first down. 13:42 left as we've just begun this third quarter. To Dillon. Dillon, a pitch to the right, and he gains another 13 yards. He's now at 100 on the day, and that's his first 100-yard game of the season. And we're just starting the third quarter, so who knows what havoc Dillon could wreak in the remainder of this game. 1st and 10 at the 32. A throw and a catch to Hujmanzada. Bryant on the stop, and that's a gain of 11. First and 10, ball to 21. Looking for Ross.
Holding offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
They get Willie Anderson for a holding. First and 20 now at the 31. Anderson. Kenny Anderson. An incomplete pass. Randall was hurt on that play. So they will bring Chris Dolman in to replace him. Second and 20, ball at the 31. This one to Ross from Anderson, and that's a gain of 9. Third down and 11 at the 22. A throw and a catch for a first to Hujmanzada. A gain of 13 yards. Bryant on the tackle for the Vikes. And now Cincinnati in business. First and goal at the 9. They throw to somebody. It was Green. And Rhodes got tangled up with him. And it falls incomplete. No flags down. Second and goal. Same spot. The 9-yard line of Minnesota to Dillon. Can Dillon turn the corner? He cannot. He loses 2. Dolman makes the tackle. A third and goal from the 11. They go to Collinsworth, and Chris Collinsworth has himself a touchdown. Out of the University of Florida. So it's 15-14. Cincinnati will have the lead. It's just a matter of by a point or 2. And this time Grant, who missed an extra point earlier, makes this one, and it's 16-14. Harvin back deep for the Vikes, touchback. And he won't take it out from 5 yards behind the end zone, into the end zone. So Cincinnati has taken the lead on their first series. We haven't had a team yet that has failed to score on the first series of the first half and now the first series of the second. We'll go Peterson, trap right on first and 10. Vikings looks like the Cincinnati is going to show a blitz, so the Vikings are going to go to a screen to Brown. A screen to Brown instead. Number 30. And this is a nice gain for Brown. He picks up 11 yards. Spikes, Tikio Spikes gets him. And it's now going to be a first and 10 at the 31. Trap left Adrian Peterson. No gain. And it's now a second and 10. And LeClaire made that last tackle, by the way, for the Vikings. I like to keep track of who's doing what on defense. But sometimes you lose track of that following the ball. Medium slant to Chris Carter. And it's caught by Carter, and he's got himself 15 yards. And that's his first catch of the day, so Cincinnati has been doing a good job keeping him off the board. Long fly to Randy Moss on first and 10 from the 46. Scored a big one earlier in the day, and now he's got another big catch. 36 yards worth. Parrish stops him. Right then and there after the catch, and it's first and 10 at the 18. We'll go to Jordan, medium hitch. Tarkenton, who can scramble, doesn't like to show it. An incomplete pass there, looking for Peterson on a check down, and Spikes deflects it. We're going to go to Tarkenton on a sweep right on second and 10. He is a pretty decent runner, and he loses 2 yards. Dunlap makes the stop. Now it's third and 12. Vikings can take the lead with a field goal, but they want to go for a big score here. And they'll go to Moss on third and 12. There's the throw, there's the catch, and there's 6 points. Second touchdown of the day for Randy Moss, who has 106 yards on the day. Tarkenton throws his third touchdown pass of the afternoon, and it's 20 to 16, Minnesota. And they will try for the 1 point extra point. This was later in the game. They would try for 2, and Walsh misses it. So each team has missed 1 extra point today. And the score will remain at 20-16. Maybe they should have gone for two there. Yeast back deep for the Bengals. And that's going to be a touchback. First and 10 at the 20. Bengals now trail by 4. That's the give to Dillon, and Dillon's going to lose a yard. McDaniel makes the tackle for the Vikings. And it will now be a 2nd and 11 from the 19. Back is Anderson. He looks for Ross, but that was broken up by Blair. Now 3rd and 11 for the 19. Anderson throws again, incomplete. That was his 23rd pass of the day. Looking for Hujmanzada, but Brian tipped it. Cincinnati now with a bit of a play advantage. Play is called 48-35. They have 313 yards to Minnesota's 270. Minnesota's going to get the ball back, and here's the punt. And that's fair caught by West at the 34. 5 minutes exactly in the third quarter. It's still 20-16 Minnesota, as they look to go to 3-1 on the season. Sweep right with Peterson on 1st and 10. And Peterson's got himself another nice gain, this time 10 yards. And the Vikings move the chains from first down to first down. They'll go to Carter on a short slant and try to feed him the ball a little more. Instead, it's a dump off to Peterson on a catch, a passing play, and a gain of 6 yards. Spikes on the tackle. Back to Brown. Trap right on 2nd and 4. He's got a first down. That's probably his best gain of the day. Running the ball. That's 10 yards. 5 runs for 11 yards. 1 catch for 11 yards for Brown, who I believe is out of the University of Illinois. Yes, he is. 1st and 10 at the 40. We'll go to Carter on a long fly this time. Instead, it goes to Moss, and he gains 18 yards. Moss now at 124 yards catching, and that is a season high for him. Here's the replay of that, which I had inadvertently hit. That was the same play you just saw. As Lindsey Nelson had to remind viewers watching the Army-Navy game in 1963 when the instant replay was introduced for the first time. 1st and 10, ball at the 22. Jordan, short hitch. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Casanova, but he got enough of it to deflect it. And it's now going to be 2nd and 10. We'll go to Peterson, trap right. Peterson with another nice gain. He gets 9 yards. 12 carries, 75 yards for Adrian Peterson out of Oklahoma. It's going to be 3rd and 1 at the 13. Triple tight ends. And we're going to fake the run, and we're going to throw a short pass to Schenko. Incomplete. We'll show you Visante Schenko out of Morgan State. Could not make the catch. And it'll be a 32-yard field goal try for Walsh. And here is that effort. Good from 30. And that makes it a 7-point game, 23-16, with 1:04 left in the third. Here's Yeast back deep for Cincinnati. He will take it behind his goal line, ran it out to the 20 for a 23-yard gain. 1st and 10, ball to 20. Incomplete as Anderson tries to throw a quick pass to Hujmanzada. He had the 14-letter last name. And that's incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Another quick throw, this time a catch by Ross. Throws for 11 yards. 1st and 10, ball to 31. to Pete Johnson. Johnson has enough there for the first down. He gains 11. And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Minnesota 23, Cincinnati 16. Ready to start the fourth quarter. Our next franchise hockey manager will be probably tomorrow, Thursday, July 16, 2020. I'll either do the February game for the Hartford Whalers or we'll do the All-Star game, which was February 5th, 1980, I believe, out of Detroit. I don't remember if this franchise hockey manager historical season I am doing has the All-Star game built into it, but if not, we'll just pick a game from February and do that instead. First and 10, ball at the 42. Cincinnati trailing 7. And that was a little dipsy-do play there. Check down to Johnson, who he could have just handed the ball off to. He gains 8. McDaniel on the tackle for the Vikings. Second and 2, ball exactly at midfield. Resting on that 50-yard line, a throw and a catch by Huzmanzada. He gains 7. First and 10, ball to 43 now of Minnesota. Throw to Green, but incomplete. Now a second and 10 at the 43. And that's Dillon, and he picks up 2 more. He's at 99 yards on the day. Third and 8 at the 41. They give it to Dillon, no gain that time. And he will end that series with 99 yards rushing on the day. A fourth and 8. And I always like to watch for fakes in this kind of field position. Ball at the 41. Cincinnati will try to pin Minnesota.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
But the offsides penalty against Randall means that Cincinnati can now try a field goal from 53 yards out. But that's going to be no good. Graham pulls it left. And the Vikings start at their own 43, so they get much better field position than they would have gotten. First and 10 from there, we'll go Peterson off tackle right. Back to the line, gains a couple before Perfect could bring him down. They'll go base formation for this play. Going to run a zone seam play action to Carter. And it's Carter who makes the catch, a gain of 12. A reverse to Moss on this first and 10. Look for number 81. And that's a gain of just a yard. It's going to be second down and 9. We'll go Peterson, sweep to the right. Second and 9 at the 42 of Cincinnati. Peterson with a lot of running room. He will gain 23 yards, and he goes to an even 100 on the day. Nice game for him. He gets to 100 on his 14th carry. Minnesota threatening. They have 9:40 left in regulation time. To Brown to give Peterson a rest on first and 10, and he goes straight ahead, gains 4. LeClaire makes the stop. Looks like Minnesota's going to milk the clock here. Under 10 minutes to go. Back to Peterson, off tackle right. And this time he gains 6, enough for a first down. Peterson at 92%, so we keep him in. Brown off tackle left. On this first down play, he picks up 1 yard. Second and 8. Well, second and goal from the 8. They're 8 yards away. Off tackle right, Adrian Peterson. Minnesota wants to chew up some clock, but they won't be able to do that anymore because Minnesota has themselves a touchdown. As Peterson scores from 8 yards out, the first rushing touchdown for Minnesota today. Walsh will come on. Relatively important extra point considering he missed one. He nearly misses this one, but it goes through. And right now it's Minnesota 30, Cincinnati 16, and you got 6:38 to go. So the Bengals got work to do here. Yeast back deep. And another touchback. Carl Pickens is going to come into the game as a fourth wideout for the Bengals. And let's run the first down play. I'm not going to mess with the matchups. I never do. Gain of 6 for Dillon. And he crosses the 100-yard plateau at 105. 2nd and 4, ball to 26. That's completed to Green for an 8-yard gain. See Adrian Peterson getting some oxygen. 1st and 10, ball to 34. And that looks like an end-around play, which backfires as Hujmanzada loses 5. Blair came up. Good pursuit, makes the tackle. 2nd and 15, ball to 29. And Anderson runs, but not for much, 2 yards. Randall on the tackle. 3rd and 13, ball to 31. It's a throw to Collinsworth and an incompletion. Cincinnati's electing not to go for it with 5:03 to go. We will go punt return safe here. Punt's a good one. Fair caught by West after a 48-yard kick by McAnally. And now we have 4:57 left to go in the game. It's 30-16. Looks like the Vikings could pull this one out, but you never know. Trap right, Adrian Peterson in a double tight end set. He gains 2. Dunlap makes the stop. 2nd and 8, ball to 23 now. We'll go to Carter on a short slant. That's caught for a first and a gain of 9. Ken Riley on the tackle. And again, Minnesota's going to try to slow it down here with 4:08 to go. Trap left, Adrian Peterson. 8 in the box for Cincinnati. No gain on that play. I think getting time off the clock now more important to the Vikings than the down and distance and scoring situation. Pitch right, Adrian Peterson on 2nd and 10. And Peterson's going to get a nice run out of this. He's at 130 on the day after that 14-yard pickup. Minnesota will take it to the 2-minute warning with the hit of that button, and each team with 3 timeouts left, but Minnesota holding the 14-point lead. They have a 1st and 10 now at the 46. We'll go to Brown on a dive. Try to force Cincinnati to use those timeouts. No gain there, and Cincinnati uses their first. First down should end the game. Off tackle right, Adrian Peterson on 2nd and 10. He's got a nice gain. He picks up 7 more. That's a season high for him, 137 yards rushing. And it'll be 3rd and 3. $1:43 on the clock. Cincinnati has that 1 timeout left. We're going to go Tarkenton on a dive. Have Franz Tarkenton ice it.
False start. Offense, number 73.
But Yeri
5-yard penalty.
foils his own team's plans with the false start. And it's going to be 3rd and 8. We'll go Peterson, pitch right, and just hope for the best. He gains 6. Cincinnati is going to have to burn their last time out. They will not, actually. And since Minnesota's going to let the clock run down to 54 seconds, which they do. 4th and 2, ball to 46. You almost want to go for it here, but I'm not going to take the chance. Sideline punt with Bob Lee. 33-yard punt, out of bounds at the 13. So Cincinnati will get a last few snaps of the ball here. They have run 61 plays. Minnesota has run 57. Minnesota with 418 yards of total offense. Cincinnati with 363. Let's get these last 49 seconds out of the way. 1st and 10 at the 13. Anderson's going to throw. Caught by Collinsworth for 15 yards. 39 seconds left. He got out of bounds, so the clock will stop without a timeout being used. Anderson to the sidelines again. Nearly intercepted by Rhodes. He threw into double coverage as a Minnesota defender converged. And that's an incomplete pass as A.J. Green was the intended receiver. 34 seconds left, 2nd and 10 at the 28. This is to Green. Green's got a lot of running room here. Can he score? No, he gained 60 yards. They let A.J. Green roam free. Minnesota doesn't want to use a timeout, but Cincinnati will use their last with 19 seconds to go. Can they score here before the end of the game? 1st and 10 at the 12. The throw, and it's incomplete, looking for Collinsworth. 14 seconds left now. A little bit of intrigue left. Dolman on the sack. He blindsides Kenny Anderson. That might do it. One last play. Incomplete. And that's your ball game. They snapped the play with 2 seconds left somehow. Your final score: Minnesota, who goes to 3-1 on the year, 30. Cincinnati, who falls to 2-2, 16. There's the stats. Very close. Cincinnati retook the net offense lead with 431 yards to Cincinnati's 418. Time of possession just barely going to Minnesota. Not a lot of penalties in the game. It was well played. Just 8 penalties between both teams. Cincinnati ran 66 plays. Minnesota ran 57. They milked the clock a lot in the fourth quarter. 14 runs of over 10 yards. Minnesota had 6 of them, Cincinnati 8, and 4 catches of more than 25 yards in this game. We'll go to the scoring summary. Tarkenton to Moss to start the game, then Cincinnati picked up 9 straight points. They blew an extra point. Minnesota came back, blew an extra point in the third quarter, so this could have been a 31-17 game just as easily. And if I had to give the game ball, I would think it would go to Adrian Peterson. Your final: Minnesota 30, Cincinnati 16, as I had just said. So Minnesota now moves to 3-1 on the year. They currently have a half-game lead over Green Bay. Green Bay yet to play this week. Cincinnati will be a game behind Cleveland, tied with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. All the teams in the lower north have already played. This was the 9th game of the week so far. And Peterson did get the game ball, according to Action PC Football. 21 carries, 143 yards, 3 catches out of the backfield for 34. Tomorrow, or our next game, will be Las Vegas, the vagabond team, the team of players that none of the other 31 teams wanted, will play Kansas City. Then we go to Houston, and Houston may have a problem. They got undefeated New York, and then Green Bay traveling to Nashville to take on Tennessee. Those will be our next 3 games this week. Again, your final, it was, let me see here, 30-16 Minnesota over Cleveland. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. I hope you enjoyed yourself today. I hope you are well wherever you are, whenever you see this. God bless, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.